Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is your weekly pick a card reading for the week of Monday the 11th to Sunday the 17th of July. I hope these messages will resonate and will help you in your week ahead. Thank you. Okay everyone, these are your piles for this week. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 and pile number 4. I'll just pop down some crystals. There you go. Take the time to select a pile that you're drawn to, a number that you're drawn to, one of the crystals, or just a random pile that just draws your eye. I'll see you soon. Welcome pile number 1 to your messages for this week. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Okay, pile number 1, just let me tune into these energies. Okay. So your first card is Starseed. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant loving light. It's not always easy to raise our vibration. It's not easy to even radiate our light. Sometimes, you know, life is heavy, or it has that heavy feeling, and it lowers our vibrations. And this card today is asking us to become aware of what energy we're vibrating on and what energy we're putting out into the world. Are we radiating? Are we shining our light? And this is not just for your benefit, because of course when we learn to raise our own vibrations, when we learn to operate from our inner light, it's of great benefit to us. But we sometimes forget that when we do our inner work, we help the planet, we help the world, we help others. So in this journey that you find yourself in the week ahead, you may be called to be the bigger person in a situation. You might be called to not react. To let something slide, maybe to see the pain in another person, or the lower vibration or the dimmed light, and not to judge them for that, but to give them the space to be in that situation. You know, we've all been on our journey. We're not being on it, we're on it. And we can forget sometimes how painful it is when we're growing and we're evolving and we hit obstacles, and we know that we shouldn't think a certain way, or we know that our emotions get the better of us and we get caught up in life and we get caught up in the dramas and the disappointments and the energies of all that. So let's see what the other cards bring. But I feel that shining your light and raising your vibration is going to be of some benefit to those around you. And sometimes when we are called to raise our vibration, it means we're in a situation where there are low energies. There are other people vibrating at lower energies, and therefore by raising your own, or at least not lowering your own, you can help to bring a lightness to a situation. And the next card is discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. See, this is very similar to our starseed card, a little bit of a different way of going about it, but you know, it's shining your light, because when we shine our light, we are naturally in our truth. We can't shine our inner light if we are not living our truth. And we're human, and we try, and so we do pop in and out of moments of shining our light, and that's human. So you know, we just have to acknowledge that, you know, we do our very best and we try to be as aware and as conscious as possible to shine our light, to always come from our truth, but it's not always an easy thing. And I find with this card, we can, you know, you're on your path, on your journey, and people might be talking amongst themselves. They might not even be talking about you, but they're on their own journey. They're on their own path. They're on their own understanding. And sometimes we don't need to correct people. We don't need to put ourselves in a position of where we are right and they are wrong. We need to sometimes just put ourselves in a position where we don't add energy to discussions or to situations. We allow those situations to unfold as they need to. We allow people to express themselves as they see they need to. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just to be true to you, is to just not add energy to those situations, to allow them to be, accept them as they are, and know that they're there for your growth or for their growth, but either way they're there to learn. So maybe be aware of situations that might trigger you this week, or situations that might hurt you, and just don't add fuel to the fire. Just don't, as very Australian way of saying it, but don't add your two bob into the conversation. Just let it be. And you know, I see this person as, you know, he's not angry, he's just easy, he's just letting it go, he's continuing on his path. And sometimes that's the best way. We have the Moonology card. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. You know, Leo is a fire sign. It's a fixed fire sign. So sometimes pride and a bit of stubbornness can get in the way of maybe doing the right thing. Leo is also a sign that, you know, exudes confidence. And here, you know, in order to be in your truth, to shine your light, you need confidence. And when I mean confidence, I don't mean going out and shouting what you believe to all the world. But it takes confidence to walk away from a situation and not say anything. It takes confidence to know your path and walk it regardless of what others may be saying or not saying, agreeing or not agreeing. So this week, trust in yourself. Have confidence in your convictions. Have confidence in your path, your light. And have confidence that when we are confident to shine our light, when we work towards raising our vibrations, that rubs off onto other people. That just naturally, we're all connected. So you change your energy, the people around you are going to feel that. It's then up to them to change their energy if they choose to. So always look at, what are you doing? What are you saying? And I feel like this confidence card is saying what you are thinking and how you are feeling is the higher way. You know, I see all the yellows in here and I just think of, you know, shining your light. But I think it's gentle. I don't think, you know, a lion doesn't need to prove itself. It knows how powerful it is. So you don't need to prove yourself to other people. You just walk your path. We have dragonfly spirit. Truth transcends illusion. And that's so true. You know, when you follow your truth, you don't get caught up in the illusion of the world. You don't get caught up in pettiness, dramas, things that don't matter, things that are fleeting, things that are based on the perception of others, things that are based on what others believe in that particular point in time. It also transcends your old beliefs, your preconceived notions. You know, the world that we live in is, you know, can be seen a little bit like an illusion. We get caught up in things that don't matter. Especially we get caught up in things that don't matter to us. We fill our time with things. We fill our homes with things. But if we look at our truth, are we filling our lives with things that matter to us? You know, we believe we need this or that to be happy. But is that true? We may even think that we need the approval of others. But is that true? This makes me think of my journey a little bit. I got a calling to do something completely different to what I normally do, and I was frightened, I was scared, and I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And so I found myself looking to others for approval, and I thought somehow that if they could approve of what I was setting out to do, then that made me right in wanting to do that. But that's not how it works, because I don't know if unfortunately is the right word. Sometimes it does feel unfortunate, but our path is our path, and other people can't necessarily understand it because it's not theirs. So they might look at wanting to keep you safe. You know, don't quit a job that earns you good money and that's secure. Don't move away from family and friends because you'll be all alone, and what if something happens? So there's so many things that the people we love and the people that love us, they just want to keep us safe, but that's the illusion. It's not your truth that is the illusion. It's not your calling that's the illusion. It's everything else that is the illusion. So there's something that you're getting called to do. You're either, with the confidence card, you might need to speak up about something. There might be lower vibrations at play here. And you're going to be called to be confident. And you're going to be called to either speak your truth and be mindful, if you do speak your truth, of how you bring that across. Make sure you're bringing that from the higher vibrations of love and compassion. And if you can't, or if you see that you're going to get caught in this game of I'm right, you're wrong, then just walk your path. Just let the situation be. We can't fix everything all the time, and we can't heal everything all the time. And we have to think of us, because that's all we have the capability to change. You cannot change another. You cannot change their energy. You cannot change their minds. They have free will. You have free will. We all have free will. But when you change you and you raise your vibrations, then the energy that then comes into the mix is higher. And then that person might rise up to meet your energy, or they might opt out because they choose not to, or because at that particular point in time they can't. You have to accept that as well. We're all on our separate journeys. So we're not all vibrating at the same level, and it doesn't make one better than the other. So we need to be very, very conscious when we awaken that we don't think ourselves better than others. Okay, we have hummingbird spirit. Be here now. Yeah, so when we're in the here and now, when we're not bringing experiences from the past into this present situation, and when we're not projecting into the future from this present situation, we often find that the way we act in the present situation is different. If you just take that situation for face value as it is right in this very minute, without all your past baggage or your future fears, you'll find that you react to situations and to people very, very differently. And when you're in the here and now, you can also, you're in a better place to see if you're going to react to something instead of act because of something. So when we react, it just flies out of us. When we're in the here and now, and we're a little bit more conscious of the situation and ourselves and how we are feeling and the emotions that might be coming up, we have a better chance of catching words before they come out of our mouth and seeing, am I doing this? Am I going to say this from a place of inner light? Is it my truth? Or am I just angry, annoyed, frustrated, hurt? And is that where my words, is that the place that my words are going to be coming from? Now we have two very, very different cards. We have the Five of Cups and the Three of Cups. And this is sadness and regret and disappointment. And when we are in those emotions, we do hide a bit from the world. You know, we are a bit darker, you know, our light is definitely dimmed. And then the Three of Cups is the complete opposite. It's the wanting to celebrate. Well, it's the card of celebration. It's the card of friends and seeing joy in things. And I feel that there's going to be a situation that if you can come at it from your truth and your light, and if you can come at it really in the here and now, not getting caught up in the illusion or what you think somebody's saying or what you think the situation is, those Three of Cups that you see as being spilt and lost and that you regret and you're sad about are actually going to be Three Cups that you're going to celebrate. So in practical terms, I see this as in a situation with another person or people. If you go down the road of anger and hurt, there'll be regret. If you can walk your path, if you can say your truth but with love, or just let it be, I think that situation is going to bring not only you but others some clarity, some aha moment. Some might not be something to celebrate, though sometimes when we see clarity, there might be a situation with a friend or a family member or a colleague that maybe you haven't been getting along in forever, and this situation is going to bring it to a head. Now, how you act in that moment is going to be what result you're going to get. Can you come at it with love? Can you acknowledge that this situation is bringing up anger or sadness, regret, hurt, whatever feeling will be different for everybody, but acknowledge that. That's not something we should hide or squash down, but can you say, okay, that's how they've made me feel, but I'm in charge of how I feel. So will you allow it to lower your vibration? Will you allow the personal situation to change your energy? Or will you rise above it, find your light and your love and your truth, and not add more negative energy to the situation? And I feel that this will bring some growth. It will bring some healing. It will bring some joy to a situation that hasn't been there for a long time. So you're really being called, pole number one, to be very present this week, to be very mindful of what you're doing, what you're saying, how you come at situations, how you react to situations. And then we have the Eight of Swords, and the card says, the illusion of entrapment, a lack of self-confidence that makes you feel helpless, being afraid to take action. Take responsibility for your life now. Now the Eight of Swords is a card that's full of fears. And when the Eight of Swords comes up, there's fears, there's a feeling of being stuck. But as you can see, she's just about ready to pull the blindfold off. And in the Rider-Waite Tarot, she's half tied up with the Eight of Swords around her, but the ties are already half falling off. So it's not the situation, it's not the universe that has bound you, it's your thoughts. And this is where coming at this situation or this person with your truth, your light, your love, and looking past the illusions, because this is the illusions of your mind. It is the ego mind telling you, this person's got it in for me, this situation's really bad, this is gonna be a terrible outcome, this is going to damage me in some way, this is going to hurt me in some way. The Eight of Swords is all about our fears, but it's our fears that our mind creates. And so if you go into this week thinking that those fears are founded, are right, you have to fight for them, you have to protect yourself, you have to fight for yourself, you have to push people away or fight people to protect yourself. It's going to be a difficult week for you, pole number 1. And I think that if you can just be mindful of where your thoughts are going and be in the here and now, be in the present moment, I think you'll sail past this, because I think it's not a situation that is going to be as bad as you thought it was. It's not a situation, when it happens, it might take you by surprise, and it might make you go, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, I don't know how I feel. But if you just allow it to unfold, if you don't add fuel to the fire, it's actually going to come out in a way that you could never expect. And you will look back at this week and go, wow, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad that I didn't react. I'm so glad that I waited until I got more information. Or I'm so glad I just listened and didn't put my 2 bob in. Because that's what's going to heal. And it's going to be so worth it. And all you need to do is just be mindful and bring your light into the situation. Bring love into the situation. Try and come at every day with the highest vibration you possibly can. Look at everything that you're grateful for, and it doesn't matter how big or how small. It's just that gratitude that helps raise our vibration. Look at everybody with love and compassion, because we don't know the path that they're walking. Even if we know the people very, very well, we don't know what trials they might be going through deep inside of them. We might not know the fears that are coming up inside of them. And that's not for us to know. That's their journey. That's their path. But we have to accept that we all go through things like that. We're not always operating from our best. But if we can give people that little bit of leeway, if we can give people that bit of understanding, you'll be amazed at how situations just clear. They just heal. because there's space, there's not always fuel, there's not always energy being added to the mix where it just gets amplified and amplified. It will eventually just, you know, fizzle out to nothing. You know, and while we're talking about a fire, when the smoke clears, you'll see that, hey, the fire wasn't a big one anyway. So trust in yourself, trust in the path, trust in what you're doing. Don't get caught up in other people's dramas or in the dramas that your mind is fabricating for you. Just be in the here and now. There you go, pole number 1. I'm going to leave you with that message. I hope that it has helped. I wish you all the best. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Love and light, everyone. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome to your weekly reading. I hope these messages resonate and that they help you in your week ahead. Let's have a look. Okay, everyone, just let me tune in for just a moment. Grab these energies that are around. Okay, what a card to start with. Love. Live your truth and share the love that is in your soul. Isn't that nice? When we live our truth, it's true, somehow we manage to tap into the love that is inside us, the light that is inside us so much more easily. When we live our truth, we're not out of alignment with ourselves. And when we live in alignment with ourselves, everything becomes that little bit easier. And we're more in tune with our soul. Our soul guides us to our truth. Our soul is always guiding us to shine our light, to bring love into every situation that we encounter. When we do that, when we can bring love into every situation, and when we can bring love to every person that's in front of us, everything is always transformed. Everything we say comes from a place of love, a place of truth, a place of not that we want anything from the person or the situation, or that we're striving for a particular outcome, or that we want to be right, or we want somebody else to be wrong. Everything comes from a place of goodness, not just for ourselves but for others. It's very high vibrating energy, and it transforms our lives. So there might be something in this week where you're called to live your truth, you're called to share your truth, you're called to share your love, or your soul might be nudging you, reminding you that it's there and there's greater things it wants you to do. Let's have a look at the rest of your cards and see what else comes out. That's a lovely message to start with. Let's see. Stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. Oh yes, we are. We manage to go through the most difficult of times, and when we bring love to that situation, when we come at it from our soul and not so much from our minds, we can heal from situations that we would have never thought possible. We can help others heal from situations that they're struggling to come to terms with. You know, the words popping into my mind is the soul is never broken. Our bodies can break, our minds can break, and they can be hurt. But your soul is never broken. It never gets hurt. It never gets damaged. And this is where our power comes from. This is where our strength comes from. It's knowing that, yes, we are human and we are operating on this world, and we therefore have a body and a mind that has limits. We are limited in this 3D world, but our soul is not limited, and our soul is us. You know, our soul is part of us, and we should never forget it, because that's where strength comes from. And not the strength or power that is to, squash our opponents, if you like. It's not for fighting, or it's not for defending ourselves. It's not for, having power or strength over others. The power that comes from our soul is beyond that. It doesn't look at harming another with it. The power that comes from our soul is connected to all the other souls in the world and all the other energy in the universe. And so it would never hurt another, because it knows that to hurt another is to hurt oneself. When we tap into our soul, we truly begin to understand that we are so much more than this body or this mind. And for this particular reading, that's how I'm seeing this card. Is you're going to be stepping into your power, because you're going to become aware that you are a soul. You are everything. You are connected to everything. And you are bigger than what you see when you look in the mirror. And in doing that, in seeing that in yourself, you're actually going to see that in others. You're going to see the soul, the spirit in other people. And I get the feeling that this is going to change how you operate. This is going to change who you are, what you do, and how you see the world. This is very, very powerful. Step out of your comfort zone, the North Node. Now, the North Node is our journey in this lifetime. So the South Node is the past lifetimes, what you've learnt in the past. This is your present life. This is where this time and now, this life and now that you have, this is the lessons, this is the growth that your soul wants you to experience. And you're going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. And absolutely, if you are in the beginning of your journey and discovering, hey, there's so much more to me than meets the eye, there's so much more to me than I thought there was, and you're starting to feel that stirring and that calling of your soul, then you are definitely going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. And you're going to feel the power of your soul, because it's going to be there to guide you and to make you not afraid. And you need to trust it. It's calling you. Pole number 2, you're being called to live your truth. Now, you may not know what that is yet, and that's okay. There's probably things you need to learn and to understand before your truth is shown, before your path is shown to you. And you're going to be called to share the love that's in you, or the love of something. There might be a passion of yours that you're going to share with the world, an understanding, something. We have the dolphin spirit. This and that are true. And I love this card. This card always makes me think of viewing everything from a certain perspective. Because I always, when I explain to people what I mean by how you perceive things to be, or what perspective you're standing in to view a situation, I always use the example of the nature shows. And I always found that I'd be watching one episode and it was on the family of let's say buffalo, and the mothers have just given birth to their young and the lions are on the prowl. And you know, they chase one of the newly born buffaloes, and you know, you're sitting on the end of at the edge of your lounge saying, run, run, and you're thinking, oh, you mean lion, why are you going to do that? And you feel for the buffalo, the baby buffalo, the mother, so much. And then the next week they'll have the show, but this side showing the life of the lion. And these lionesses are out because they've got cubs that haven't eaten in days, and they might not make it through the night if they don't eat. And so when they're chasing the buffalo in that one, you're kind of saying, catch it, catch it. And that's perception. And okay, in this situation, we can, it's very easy to see it from both sides. It's sometimes not so easy to see it from both sides when we're interacting with others, or when we are living a situation that we can't step enough away from to be able to see it from another point of view. But the dolphin spirit is here to tell us that there's more than one point of view, and it depends which way you look at the view, that they'll be both true. They'll be right to both of them. Whose point of view are you looking at it from? And I feel that in those times where we can't see, we know we just can't see the other person's point of view, or we can't see the situation with another perspective, then we just have to trust, and we just have to come at it from a place of love. Because when we come at it from a place of love, an understanding that we maybe don't have all the facts, or we don't understand it all, then straight away we're coming at it with unknowing. Not a need to be right or to prove ourselves. There's no need to prove your point, because you're very aware that, well, as you see it right now, that might be your point. But if somebody gave you additional information, could you see it from another point? And the dolphin spirit's here to say yes. However you see this situation, whatever you're going through, just know that you might not be seeing every angle. There's more truth in it. There's more information in it that you don't have yet. So it's not to say you're wrong. It's not to say you're right. There's just more clarity that needs to come. And we have Dove Spirit, be peace. Yes, this is a soul calling. This is your soul saying, hi, I'm here. And be peace. There's no better way to bring in love to situations. If in every encounter, every situation, you are the peace in the room, there can only be love. And peace is powerful. Love is powerful. It's much easier to get angry than it is to give love to a situation. I feel that you're going to be called to bring in gentleness. You're going to be called to, I don't know if life situations have made you a bit hard or a bit harsh. Or if you feel that you're always having to fight to get what you want. I believe you're actually going to start to realize that actually that's not the way. That's not my soul's way. That's not what I'm being called to do. That's not my truth. That's not where my power is. And you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, because when we start to awaken, when we start to listen to our soul and we start to live our truth, we're essentially learning how to be and how to do things in a completely different way. So your interactions with people are going to change. What you liked is going to change. What you didn't like is going to change. What you thought or believed is going to change. And this is where stepping out of your comfort zone is so important, because when we start to change at that level, fear will come into it. We'll be nervous. We'll be unsure of ourselves. And when we get to that space, our reaction often is to go backwards and do things how we previously did them. And here you're going to be called to know. You're going to be called to look at different ways of doing things, different ways of seeing things, understanding things, and to come at it from a place of real inner peace. And again, I can say there's going to be things this week that are going to either trigger this, or it's already started and you're going to start to notice it more. But this is the journey of years. This is stepping into your truth for the rest of your life. This is basically a summary of everything that I've just said. There'll be, you'll feel unbalanced. The Two of Pentacles is, he's kind of juggling and he's going from one foot to the other, and you can see the waves in the background. That's the emotions, the up and down of the emotions, and he doesn't look comfortable. It's not comfortable. And awakening and following our truth, following the calling of our soul, is not comfortable. And there'll be choices. There'll be juggling between your old life and what you're being called to do. But the Ten of Cups is that's your truth. That's living your truth. It's not to say that your life will be perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. We've always got lessons. We're always growing. We're always evolving. You know, we get to one understanding and we master that and we understand it at a level where we don't operate the way we did previously. But then we'll start the next journey that will teach us different things and will ask us to master something different. And then the cycle begins again. And that's life. It never stands still. It's always evolving, and the more we can go with it, the more we can understand that we don't know everything. We don't see everything from a point of view, from every point of view, sorry. The more we can say, okay, yes, our emotions are all over the place, that's okay. The more we can just say, okay, I'm going to let the old go and I'm going to embrace the new. Because this is what it's asking you to do. This is what you're going to go through. Unknowing, uncomfortableness, high and low emotions, being unsure of yourself. But this is ultimately where your soul wants you to go, to fulfillment, to more joy, to more love, to more happiness, better connections, better people in your life that suit or that vibrate on the same level as you. It's not easy to evolve and to awaken and to grow and to change. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And you'll see that. You'll see that you'll go between, for a while, you'll go between the unknowing and the fear, and then seeing some joy come of it, seeing some understanding. There'll be a bit of ease, there'll be more love, there'll be different connections, and then you might come back into this where there'll be heightened emotions, and there might be a few decisions that you just don't know how to make, and then you'll get clarity, and then you'll roll back into here. So there's going to be, you know, you mix between the two. And then you've got the Three of Cups, which is celebration. It's finding your tribe. You know, finding people that you resonate with, places that you resonate with, situations that you resonate with. And the card says, news worth celebrating, joyful announcements like engagements, weddings, pregnancy or graduation, a time for gratitude, close communities or chosen family. That's your soul tribe. That's your soul family. And joyful announcements. Yes, it can be weddings and engagements, but it can just be you, your soul, celebrating. As you feel the love and the light inside of you starting to come out and starting to radiate out to others, it's something worth celebrating, and you will find people to celebrate with you. So don't be afraid. Know that you have what it takes. Know that you are being guided by your soul. And move forward slowly, surely, and with peace and love in your heart. Pole number 2, such a beautiful reading. I wish you all the best this week. Lots of love and light, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome to your weekly reading. I hope these messages will resonate. Let's get started. Okay, let me just tune into the cards for a moment. Okay. First card is vibration. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to cosmic intelligence. Wow. Yes. There's been this message of vibration in the previous 2 readings as well. So this week we're really being asked to have a look at where we're vibrating. What level are we vibrating at? What energies are we putting out into the world? And when we're connected to cosmic intelligence, we're connected to the universe, we're connected to God, we're connected to our higher self, our higher purpose. And when we come at anything from that place, we come at it from a place of love, a place of beauty, a place of understanding and compassion. And with your message as well, it's the universe, God is helping you raise your vibrations. So that's a beautiful message, because sometimes it's difficult to keep our vibration vibrating high. You know, the situations and conversations that happened and we feel it dimming, or we may not feel so well, or we may be tired, and that will lower our vibration if we're not mindful. But here I feel like it's the universe saying, we've got you. We're going to help you raise your vibration. And it's because you're connecting very strongly to the universe, to God. And see how this plays out in your cards, and if we can get some more information. Ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. Yes. Mountains in the tarot, they signify difficult situations that we've overcome. It's climbing the mountain that is the most difficult. But when you get to the top, it's always so worth it. And there will always be mountains in our life. There will always be situations that make us work, that make us try, that make us grow. And we've got to be mindful to not stop or to not go back down. We've got to keep climbing the mountain. And here the universe is saying, keep going forward. Your path, your journey is in front of you, not behind you. So I feel that maybe for you, you might be feeling sadness at what you're leaving behind. And I'm not to say that it's this week that you're going to be leaving something behind, but I think there's things ending for you, and you know that they're coming, or they've just happened. And when we leave things behind, there's a part of us, well, there's sadness, and there's regret, or there's wishing that things could have gone different or been different. But here You're being told to keep moving forward, to keep going forward. The joy is not in your past. It's not in what was. It's what's coming. If you have difficult moments this week, pole number 3, trust, dig down deep into you. Find this connection with the universe, with God, and ask for help. Ask for guidance. Ask for support. Ask that your load be lightened a little. You know, let God know, let the universe know that I'm struggling. I need help. Today I don't feel that I can do this on my own. I need your help. Please help me. And you will find that that day you will either sleep better that evening, something will happen to give you a bit of a break. You'll have little moments in your day that have a little lightness to it. Trust and keep going. And sometimes if we don't get the support or the help that we ask for straight away, it's because there's a lesson in the difficulty. And I know that doesn't help when you're going through the lesson and the difficulty. But if you can just acknowledge that that's where you're at and just accept that, okay, this is where I am, and I'm not going to bury how I'm feeling. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to buy into it either. I'm just going to accept it, and I'm just going to keep trying to move forward. And that might not be physical steps in the real world. It might just be, I'm going to do an extra meditation today because I just need to find some peace. I just can't get myself to a place of moving forward or picking myself up. Trust that there is what am I trying to say? There is logic in this journey. There is reason. That's the one. Thank you. There's reason in this journey. There's reason that you're going through what you're going through. And that's not to make light of whatever you're going through, but it's to help you see that you always get to the other end. And then that's generally when the clarity comes. When you're coming down the mountain and you've seen what was on top of the mountain, that was your clarity. When you're coming back down, you can see all the value in the climb to the top of the mountain. But while you're climbing the mountain, you just see the difficulties. You don't see the whole picture. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. But you will. So just keep going. Keep trusting in this higher guidance. It will never, never lead you astray. And the Moonology card, the waning moon. What do you need to release? Yes. I feel that there will be endings and there will be sadness. I feel sadness. And know that that's perfectly fine. Do not be harsh with yourself. Endings are painful. There is regret. There's disappointment. But know that the universe, when it when things come to an end, it's because it's clearing your path. You cannot walk a new path if there's things all over it. You'll trip over them, you won't get anywhere. You'll hurt yourself. But when the path gets cleared, that's painful, because that's all the things that are moving away from you. They're just leaving. Let them go. Embrace the feeling of release. Embrace the letting go. Feel your pain, feel your sadness, but don't get caught up in it. Understand that it's there to make you see, yes, I'm hurting now. And dig deep inside of you. Why are you hurting? Because we don't often dig deep enough when we feel emotions to get to the emotion that we need to see. So we might look at a dream that's ended, and we might have pain and disappointment and regret that we didn't manage to make that dream come true. And if we dig a little deeper, we might get to, oh, there's a feeling of failure. And then when we dig deeper and we find those other hidden feelings and hidden emotions, that's when we can go in and heal them. We can first learn to understand them, and then we can let them go. The grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Yes, this is my Fool card. This is the reason why you're going through all this. This is why you're letting go of things that no longer serve you, things that you've outgrown. You're going up the mountain because you're going to take that leap. And this can be in anything. It can be in your job, in your life in general. And the universe is bringing you these lessons, these difficulties, in order to get you to a place where you've learnt to trust yourself more. You've started to see your worth and your power and what you can achieve. So when the opportunity comes and you can leap, you will. Parrot spirit, watch your words. Yes. Watch your words. Watch how you speak to yourself. You cannot take a leap of faith when your mind is constantly telling you you can't, you're not good enough. What are you doing? You're crazy. This is ridiculous. And it will tell you so much. And it will give you so many reasons why you can't or you shouldn't. Watch them. Because I believe in this reading, these words are to yourself. And it will be like the parrot, colourful and bold and loud. And that's how you will know that it's your ego, it's your mind, your frightened part of you that is trying to talk you out of this. The quiet little voice, the little whispers, the little knowings, the little flutters of your heart. That's your soul. These flashy, big, dramatic words, thoughts that catch your attention and you can't let go of them. That's your ego. That's your mind playing tricks on you. And your mind and your ego are there to keep you safe, but they keep you small. And you're being asked to raise your vibration, to connect to the universe, to connect to God, to connect to your higher self, to connect to your soul. Because that's the journey. That's the journey you're now on. So those loud, scary thoughts that wake you in the middle of the night, just picture the parrot, you know, on its branch, squawking away, and smile. Say thank you. Thank you for making me aware of your fears, but I've got this. Because the parrot spirit will show you where your fears are. It'll show you where your doubts are. It shows you your limiting beliefs, your limiting attitude. So the parrot spirit is not one to be squashed or silenced. It teaches you. It's the greatest teacher you have. So listen to the parrot spirit, but don't run with him. Don't get up on that tree and start squawking with him and add to the drama and add to the fear. Let him show you where your fears lay, but don't buy into those, because that's not your journey. That's not where you're going. That's what you're releasing. That's what you're leaving behind. It no longer serves you. We have the Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles. You are going to tune in to your higher self. You are going to make decisions from this higher place that serve you and others. This is like my victory card of the soul, of the awakening. It's, you don't need to do anything. You know, there's no whips, there's no reins. You don't need to control anything, and you come to that understanding. You know that you just need to be. And when you are in that place of being, all the doing will happen from a place of creativity, love. And it's still work. But there's a joy in doing it. There's an ease in doing it. And this is bringing you to the work that your soul wants you to do. You're going to be heading into the next chapter of your life where you get to accomplish what your heart wants you to accomplish. And it's work. It is. It is. It takes diligence. It takes concentration. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes work. But it's so worth it. Because there's a calmness. He's sitting doing his work. He's not running around like a crazy person. He knows what he's got to do, and he just calmly and methodically does it. There's none of this parrot energy. There's clarity in what he's doing. And that's what your soul work is. When you do your soul work, not at the beginning, please, when you start your journey, there's no clarity at all, and you've got to be okay with that. You're ascending the mountain, you're at the beginning. But this is showing you where you're headed. This is to give you insight, to give you guidance, to give you something to trust in. The Seven of Cups, and it says, make a choice. Stop procrastinating or over-analyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. Too many options, addictions. In this reading today, I see it very much in conjunction with the Ascending the Mountain card. You might have or be starting to get ideas of what you want your future to look like, or what choices you want to have in your future. As you're ascending the mountain, these may change. They might disappear or fade, and others might become brighter. They might, but this is still clouded. They might appear every now and again, but there's no clarity in them. They're not choices you can make right now. You need to ascend the mountain. And once you get to that point, that is when these choices will come available. That is when you get to this energy here. You will have choices. You'll be able to make decision with clarity and understanding. And you won't procrastinate. You won't overanalyze, because that's this journey here. That's your beginning journey. That's when you procrastinate, because you're not quite sure where you're going. And I don't even like the word procrastinate. I like the word being and not doing. When we are ascending the mountain, okay, yes, we're climbing the mountain, but we have to come at it from a place of being. If we make ourselves too busy when we're climbing the mountain, we'll miss the lessons along the way, or we'll take the wrong turn and suddenly we realize we're heading around the mountain instead of over the mountain. So clarity is not always with us when we start our journey, when we follow our soul's calling. But you will have so many options. Some that you will start to see early on, but most will come once you've gotten to this place of clarity, understanding, knowing exactly what it is that you want to do and are trying to do. When you see your soul's calling for exactly what it is, you see the journey, you see the way ahead. Not all of it, because we never see the whole way ahead. We never see the whole journey. But you will be given so many choices. And I feel the tarot cards are here as a bit like the, I don't like to say it like that, but I can't think of anything else, a bit like the dangling carrot in front of you. It's saying, yes, this is where you find yourself now, in the hard part, in the part that takes more trusting, because there's not real clarity. But the universe is telling you, this is where you're headed. This is what you're headed to. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay in the old. Take that leap of faith when it comes. And it's literally there. And I think that most of you have already taken that leap. And there'll be more than one leap, because to start climbing your mountain, you're already seeing that you're on a new journey. And there'll be more than one. And then you get to a point where the mountains have passed. And that leap of faith brings you to your choices, brings you to all these opportunities, this newness, these beginnings. And they're aligned with your soul. They're aligned with your soul journey. They're aligned for your highest good. Such a beautiful reading, pole number 3. Be brave, be strong, and know that you're protected this whole way through. You're being guided and you're being protected and you're loved. And I wish you all the best. Have a lovely week. Love and light. See you next week. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome to your weekly reading. I hope these messages resonate with you and are of some help. Let's get started. Straight away I see you might not have a lot of clarity this week, my beautiful pole number 4. Okay, let me just tune in for a moment. Okay. So the very first energy I got was one of not a lot of clarity. So it's not surprising that the patience card is here. And it says, be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Oh, this is so hard for us to do. Because when we are patient, we are in the feeling of trust. When you're patient, there's a knowing in you that everything will work out. You don't need to push. You don't need to strive. You don't need to make things happen. When we force and when we push, we often do so in detriment to ourselves. We think that we're being productive. We think that we're doing good because, look, I'm making things happen and I've made it happen for myself. But you've got to give the universe time to catch up. You've got to give the universe the space to bring things to you. I know through my awakening, I had moments of it almost like there was decision after decision after decision, then and afterwards for 3 months, nothing. And I came to realize that the universe asks us to do our bit. And then we need to stop. And we need to step aside and let the universe do its bit. We are co-creators in this world. We co-create with each other and with the universe, with all that is. It's so much bigger than our little world. So when you're pushing and rushing, think about what you might be missing. You're pushing and rushing in this direction and you've missed the gold nugget in this direction. And when we are not patient, when we are pushing and forcing things, we're not in the flow of giving and receiving. All we are doing is giving. So then we get angry that we have given so much, we have done so much, and we've got nothing. But we haven't allowed ourselves to receive anything. We push everything out into the world of what we want. We want it to go this way, so we push, we push. That's giving. But if you don't slow down and are patient and stop at one point, how does anything come back to you? You're like this. So anything trying to come in gets blocked because you're going to push it out with everything else that you're trying to do. So patience is that space of allowing things to come in. It also gives you time to rest. to regroup, to plan your next steps. It's so important. It's so important. So for the next little while, but especially this week, don't push anything out. You've probably done all that. Allow things to come in now. And judging by the rest of your cards, it's going to be clarity that's coming in. And that is so important. Clarity is the biggest help to anybody. When you have clarity, you have understanding, you make decisions, good decisions. Answering the call. The time is now. So you have pushed something out into the world. You have asked for something. Your soul has asked for something. And it's so funny because this card, I don't see you answering the call. I see your call is being answered. The universe is answering your call. So if you rush out, you might take the wrong path. The universe might be coming in on another path. Leave the door open. Let it come to you. This is going to sound so basic and simple. Do nothing. Just be in the space of being. But there is nothing harder. Because we are brought up and our society is a society of doing. Everybody needs to be doing something. We're always being asked, what are you doing? It's all doing, doing, doing. When was the last time that you felt happy when somebody said, oh, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? And you go, actually, nothing at all. I bet the reaction is one of absolute, but the other person is stunned. And will you actually say that to them? Or will you try to think of things? Oh yeah, I was really busy. You know, we're always trying to be busy because somehow busy people seem to be more proactive. Well, the universe is telling you, no. If you want it to answer your calling, then you need to stand still so it knows where to find you. If you go racing off to start something else or do something else, it's gonna pass you by. If you can lighten your schedule this week, try to make at least pockets of time in your day where you have nothing. Can you sit for a few moments and do nothing? That's going to be something that you'll need to try. Try to be in the being and not the doing. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. The balance between being and doing. It's pretty much level. So you've done what you need to do. Now for some of you this could be in romance. So for some of you this could be you've been asking for a partner to walk through life with you. It says romantic, but it also could be a partnership in your work. You might be looking for a mentor, or you might be looking for an actual partner. Somebody to walk this journey with you. Could be a soul tribe, soul family, friends. Again, they're coming. Don't be too busy or you'll miss them. You know, when we race around through life, we're too busy to talk to the stranger. But that stranger could be your next life partner. It could be your next best friend. Find balance in everything you do. This week, patience. You know, there'll be a time where you get back into the doing, but please remember the pushing out and then allowing to receive. Pushing out and allowing to receive. And sometimes when we push something out, or when we're in the doing, we wait for it to come back, something different might come back. Allow it. Allow it, because that's maybe what is of your best benefit. Maybe that's the cycle that you're going into. You know, this is talking about a cycle beginning. This is talking about allowing destiny to unfold at its own pace. Things are turning. And we don't have the Wheel of Fortune here because I think this is at the very, very beginning. So the wheel hasn't turned yet, but it's going to, if you give it the space and the time to. We have the beautiful giraffe spirit. See the big picture. Now, this is not always easy to do because we're in our life. So it's hard to get perspective and to see the bigger picture of our life. But the universe is asking you to see if you can, to see past the next little step, to see past what's right in front of our nose, to see past the difficulties. Try and zoom out. Because there's something bigger at play here. And the universe is answering your call, but it's not to say that the universe is going to bring it in the package that you want to see it in. And I feel that the giraffe spirit is here to tell us, okay, if it doesn't look like what you expected it to look like, can you see the bigger picture? Can you see the gift, what comes in, as maybe a stepping stone to the next stage? Or can you see it even as what you really needed? If you had clarity back when you were in the doing stage, in the this is what I want, this is what I'm going to try to achieve. Maybe if you'd had this clarity, if you could have seen the bigger picture, would you have actually chosen what the universe has actually given you? Can you be grateful for what is in front of you right now, even if it doesn't look, feel the way you want it to? Can you see the perfection in it? Not an easy thing to do. And then we have pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. Yes. I don't like to pick on the mind too much because the mind has its place. Everything about us has its place, has its purpose. Our mind is there to be used as a tool to live in our everyday world. So you need your mind to learn how to use your computer and then to be able to use your computer on a daily basis. If your mind just got up and left, you wouldn't have the capability to use a computer. You wouldn't have the capability to drive your car. So everything that we do in this world, in this 3D world, we use our mind. So to say we have to squash the mind, or we have to get rid of our thoughts and our mind, and it's not accurate, because we need it. But we have to be aware of also what we're asking our mind to do. You know, if it's a practical application, your mind is brilliant. You know, you tell your mind, I don't know how to do this on my computer. Let's stick with the same example. Well, then your mind will go, oh, you can Google it. Your mind will say, oh, that's right, you read this in this book, and then you'll go back and find the book and the passage that helped you do whatever you needed to do. So your mind is so useful. But if you ask it to solve a situation of your soul, or of your evolution, or of your future, or it can't. There's no practical, concrete thing that it can grab onto and analyze and solve. So we send our mind on these wild goose chases of trying to solve things that it cannot solve because it's not designed to. So the pig spirit is asking us to be mindful, one thing, what we're asking our mind to help us with, and to be mindful what our mind is trying to solve for us. What are the thoughts that keep coming back to us? What are the thoughts that make us want to go running out of this gate and be in the physicality of doing, chasing? So use your mind wisely. Pay attention. Are you telling yourself you can't do this? Are you telling yourself, oh, I've been waiting forever, this is never going to happen, what am I doing? I don't even know why I believe, I don't even know why I try. Oh, once your mind gets started, poof, it goes off on a tangent. It's unstoppable until something else catches your attention. But listen to it. It'll give you guidance about what your deeper emotions, where your fears lay, where your uncertainty is, where your blocks might be. So yeah, pay attention to that mind of yours and where those thoughts are leading or coming from. We have the Page of Wands and the Seven of Swords. And there are those mountains again, back a little bit in the back as well. But the Page of Swords is having an idea, having a passion, and starting on that journey. It's the possibility. And then the Two of Swords is that at a crossroads. Can't make a decision, have no clarity, and so you become stuck. And they do on a spiritual journey, or when we are waiting, when we understand the notion of you do a bit and the universe does a bit. This is almost like what the energy can feel like, is you're doing your bit, you're in your moments of passion, you're following your dreams, You're seeing the possibility. It's still at the very, very beginning stages, but it's exciting. And then you've got to come into this, not this exact energy, but this is what it'll feel like when you come into the patience, being patient, allowing the universe to then bring to you. We have to be mindful not to fall into this Seven of Swords feeling. Sorry. Oh, interesting that I said the Seven of Swords. No, the Two of Swords feeling. One of not knowing, of being stuck. Can't make a decision. And that being a bad thing. You know, we can be viewing the doing like the full of opportunities, full of life, full of energy, and then the patient part as in like, oh my God, the minute I stop, I'm scared, I can't see what I'm doing, I've got no clarity, I can't make a decision. So you may feel that you're going between these two energies. Try not to see patience like the Two of Swords. Try to see patience as that moment to rest, as that moment to see if you can see the bigger picture, to try and zoom out to see the bigger picture, to pay attention to your mind and your thoughts and where they're guiding you and what they're telling you. When we're in the feeling of, or in the space, sorry, when we're in the space of being, it allows us to stop. It allows us to tune in. It allows us to regroup, to rest. We can't always be in this energy. We can't always be excited. We can't always be passionate about everything we're doing. There are times where we need to, right, let's go back inwards. And that is very much these energies. You know, let's pay attention. Let's come back to us and see where we're at, where our thoughts are at. And then we can go back out again. And this is where we stay balanced. This is when we find this balance, because we do a bit and then we wait, we feel the energies, we see what comes in. It tells us whether we need to do a bit more, or whether we wait a bit more, or whether we change tactics a little bit because nothing's really coming back. And we need to be in that space of being to get those subtle notions and to not always be running and doing. And the moon is here. And it says, listen to your intuition and pay attention to signs from the divine. Unnecessary worry. Let go of your fears. Revelations that will make everything clear. Yes, the moon reflects. It doesn't light things of its own. So we don't have a lot of clarity when the moon's here, because it reflects our fears back to us. It reflects our desires back to us. It reflects what we're trying to do back to us. So when our outside world doesn't mirror that as well, we feel lost, we lack clarity, we worry. But the moon is here to say that no, there's no right or wrong. There's just two ways. There's just balance. In order for something to be balanced, there's got to be something at either side of it. And sometimes we might, you know, it's in the balancing of the two where we see, oh, actually, I'm really out of balance because I've done this or that. And the moon, because we don't have clarity, because it's a little bit darker and it's a little bit hidden, the moon is also a card of slowing down. when we can't see our way, when things are lit by the moon and not the sun, we need to go a bit slower because we don't see what might be on our path, what might trip us up. So again, the moon and patience really, they speak together. Going slowly. And this is not the journey of a week, but this week you're being asked to be patient, to be in receiving mode, to be more still, and to go within. So pole number 4, I hope this reading has resonated. Please do as much as you can this week to slow down, take your time, and pay attention to what's happening inside of you. Lots of love and light, pole number 4. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.